Welcome to WhoDooTV, and today we're continuing the Image Expo 2018 press coverage. This time we have T. Franklin and Maria Nguyen talking about Jook Joint.
You are now watching WhoDooTV.
Welcome to our Jook Joint press conference.
Yeah.
I'm T. Franklin.
I'm Maria Nguyen.
So, Jook Joint is a 5-issue miniseries time period horror set in the swamps. Not really Louisiana-ish, but that type of a vibe. It is a blues slash jazz slash brothel, and there are rules that need to be followed when you go into the Jook Joint, and keep your hands to yourself, respect each other, and if you don't follow the rules, then basically you end up dead and bad things happen to you. I wrote this book about 2 years ago. This is like way before the whole Me Too movement. Well, the Me Too has been around for about 10-ish years, but I guess this latest wave with Weinstein and everybody. So it's weird seeing this happen. And I've got my project, but our project, but it's nobody's killing anybody in the Hollywood area. Whereas in our books, you got to follow the rules, and if you don't,
the
there's
consequences are way worse.
way worse than ostracized and not being able to put out a movie or something. So yeah, it's very creepy and bloody and gory, and a lot of torture.
There's quite a bit of torture.
Yes.
It also follows a voodoo priestess,
Yes.
Mahalia, who is the one inflicting death on those who aren't following the rules. She's also the owner of the Jook Joint, and so she has eyes and ears kind of everywhere around Jook Joint.
Yes.
And yeah, she makes sure that the victims are taken care of and are given these choices,
right,
to decide what they want to do with their abuser in some sense.
Yes. Yeah. Because when you are a domestic violence survivor, sometimes we have to stay because of the kids or finances or just not being able to go. And there have been plenty of times and all over since who knows how long that women sometimes die at the hands of their abusers, and because they just can't go, they don't feel safe enough. And in this story, one of the stories within the story, we follow a young mother who has to decide whether or not she wants to, follow through with basically the death of her husband. Because sometimes you stay and you want to, I'll never do it again, baby. But, and unfortunately it keeps on happening. So she needs to decide for herself whether or not to stay in this abusive relationship. And it's not just her who's being assaulted, I guess. Yeah, her daughter, their child, is also, unfortunately a product of this abuse. So she has to really decide where to go and who to get help from.
Yeah, so our priestess basically gives the victims the power to make those decisions. And yeah, so just the consequences are just really deadly, and it's really lethargic.
Super cathartic.
Yeah,
super
cathartic.
Yeah,
cathartic.
Look, no, you're fine. You're like she's came from Toronto, so she's like on 2 hours of sleep. So it's about maybe about 2 hours. So it's very cathartic, very healing. To be able to
claim back that power.
Yeah. I think that's pretty.
Yeah,
that's pretty
and
good.
this I've never dealt with domestic abuse myself, but I think through this kind of storytelling you can really empathize with the characters, and I think that's what T has done really well through her writing. So no problem.
This is our first time meeting here, so it's like, oh babe, so it's pretty cool. pretty cool. But yeah, I think even with the way that you draw her, I don't want to spoil a lot of things, but your expressions and is just wild. And these people are, okay, not just you guys are in for a treat. Like if horror and voodoo and torture is your thing.
Lots of blood,
Lots
which
of
I
blood.
enjoy a lot, so much. I enjoy the blood part so much. Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's really, I think it's
Yeah,
beautiful.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we connected, like T said, through Twitter, and it was actually T put out a tweet, and I was very lucky because my friend Stephanie Singleton, shout out to her, tagged me in the thread, and I hadn't done a comic before, except for like school projects or exercises, personal exercises. So I was just like, okay, well, I've never done a comic before, but I did these like horror manga inspired illustrations for a zine, and I just kind of put it out there, and T was nice enough to email me.
I ate it up.
Yeah,
I ate it up so quickly. It was like, yeah, I love your work. Do you want to work together? Let's do this.
Yeah.
It just sort of kind of flowed. And then we have Lynn Scurfield, who does oh my God, her colors are just, she goes above and beyond.
Yeah.
She colors your lines. Like
Yeah, so Lynn Scurfield and we went to the same college together. We both took illustration at Sheridan College. And so I just, messaged her and just asked her to come along on the ride with us.
so 3 women of color, Taylor Esposito. Y'all know Taylor Esposito. He's lettered so many amazing books. And then we have Brendan Wright, who is our editor. So we have a pretty cool, I'm all about inclusion in comics. So I have another inclusive team to knock this project out. And yeah, I'm pretty lucky.
I guess.
Yeah.
When do you guys think, I got 2 questions. One will be specific about being underrepresented creators of color, and then one will just be about being a creator. The first is being underrepresented in this medium. I'm getting to know you both for the first time today. Why comics? That is not a field or a medium that is typically inclusive of anyone other than older white males for decades. And I know that there's a lot of effort being made by a lot of different publishing houses to change that, but you guys don't fit the stereotype of people that I would normally find even in amazingly diverse comic shops here in Portland. And I'm just wondering what brought you to this medium other than music, film?
For me, comics has always been a part of my life. I'm from Jersey, so being here, right? Like even around town with visiting with my friends who are from Portland, y'all are just straight white. Like there's not many people who look like me in this city, town. Like it's just non-existent. And that's just weird. That doesn't reflect my life. So comic shops by me, it's all different walks of, life going in there. As soon as I step outside my home, it's just met with tons of marginalized people. I mean, some people can't say the same thing over here in Portland, which is really weird, but comics has been my thing, and it feels like, why can't I write comics? Just because it's a industry dominated by straight white men, that doesn't mean that it should always stay that way. So I'm going to tell as many stories as possible, and that's pretty much it.
Well,
Yeah.
my reasoning is much more shallow. I feel like there definitely are a lot of Asian people, maybe not as much Asian women, but for me, it's just, this is a medium I've never taken on before, especially a medium I've never taken on seriously before. It was, like I said, very shallow. It was very personal. It was something, because it was such a great challenge, I just wanted to take it on. I do have a lot of pride in making images. I am so fortunate to be able to make images as a living, and it's it's one of those things I haven't tackled, but why I stayed on is because people need to see that, you know, we're here. Like, people need to see us, people need to hear about us, and to fight for also their spot on the table as well. So I think being there, I hope that it gives other people the courage to pursue it, and not just sit back and accept the status quo as it is at the moment. So yeah, so it's definitely like we need to be more visible in order for other people to be brave enough to come forward with their work as well.
Yeah.
And then just a quick follow-up then. As a writer and somebody who's putting perhaps either personal experiences or things that are real-world realities for many people down on paper, sending them to you, that then you really don't, especially because you two are working together for the first time, you don't have a history, you don't have maybe a full appreciation of each other's journey. When you receive something that maybe is as stark and honest about retribution and wish fulfillment in domestic abuse situations, or when she sends artwork back to you because you don't know what this is going to come back looking like, were there moments during this process where either one of you had to take a deep breath and put the material down for a moment because the realization of the work was so personal and so real?
You can go first.
I mean, when I contacted you, I wanted to make sure. I said, this is what the book is going to be about. I didn't just say, surprise, there you go. You know, it was really it's about domestic abuse and, you know, different types of just abuse, period. And if you are not okay with this, that's cool. There's no harm, no foul. But I wouldn't just surprise and throw it in your lap. So I think with that said, you probably were, I can't speak for you, but I would assume that you know, it might not have been as detailed, but you knew going in that this is the subject matter.
Yeah.
So
for me, I think it was I guess I can say the strong sense of empathy within me was able to take T's story and translate it on page. Obviously through my own lens. I try to do it as much justice as I can in terms of just diving straight into the story. But I relied mostly on my sense of empathy in order to translate the words into illustrations and comic panels. Thank you.
And why do you tell this story? I know you kind of alluded to that up on stage today, but to tell the story of DV, domestic violence that's been around for such a long time, why do you tell the story, and what makes you that person to take it home?
I mean, why not? It doesn't really, I'm just telling my story on how I want to see people tortured. You know, some people might not be as gory as as I've done, but I mean, domestic violence is not just near to my heart, but so many other people's. And if I can start the conversation, yeah, I know we're not going to be able to kill these people, you know, in real life, but if I can just start the conversation about domestic violence, period, about abuse, period, it's just another way for the victims of, no, the survivors to just speak about it and maybe just, I don't know, like this can end up being a TV show, a movie, and have people, you know, the survivors saying, oh, did you see how she stuffed his balls in his mouth and ripped it off? Like, that is just something that's really cool. That's like that water cooler moment,
It's
you know? Like, it's just a different, you know, it's just something that having this opportunity to tell these stories is, you know, it's not just, oh, well, why should you tell the story? Why not? It's like you wouldn't ask a straight white man, why is he telling this superhero story? Like, he's just telling the story, and that's all I'm doing. I'm just telling a story. My first story, I skinned somebody alive. Why? Because I was in the mood to kill somebody, like, on paper. You know, got to be very specific about that. You know, and it's just, horror is my jam. I love horror. I've always loved horror since I was like 12, 13 years old, reading it for the first time in the hardcover in one day. That is just something that appealed to me. I love horror. Yeah, I wrote Bingo Love, which is an amazing romance that is selling off the charts, but I still like horror and I still like science fiction. I'm not going to be pigeonholed into one, you know, type of genre when it comes to my writing. So this is just this. My next book might be something totally different. Might be about cats and dogs and fishes. I don't know. But I have so many stories inside of me and I'm going to tell them. So the whole why me, it's just literally why not? Just, yeah. That's pretty much it.
Thanks for watching WhoDooTV, and I want to thank T. Franklin and Maria Nguyen for taking some time to talk about Jook Joint. Make sure you subscribe and make sure you check out our friends over at Outright Geekery.